brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lekter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Good morning to you. A very, very good morning to you. It is 1 minute past 7 and breaking news. For the first time this year, I think, maybe, we're starting the show in positive figures. I don't know, maybe we did that in March. It's 1 degree outside. Celebrate good times, come on, etc. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, Wheeler sleeps this morning, so it's just me in the studio right now. I'm starting to feel as though we may need a cupboard at Cabin Radio for our seasonal ephemera. I am looking at a Thanksgiving sort of table piece, if you like. I think it's supposed to be a trophy. It looks amazing, but it's not Thanksgiving. It's on the shelf over there. That needs to go away. There's a Christmas ptarmigan up there as well, and then in the next room, I did a bit of garage sale shopping on the weekend. For the first time in my life, I might add. And I realized just how much I miss Christmas. I do love Christmas. And I went round, picked up a massive Santa Claus figurine for the office for Christmas. And one of those, like, little counter things where you can change the cubes to show how many days are left until Christmas. Spoiler alert, more than I could show on the cube right now. So, they're now hanging out in the office as well. It's neither Thanksgiving nor Christmas, and yet the place is decorated, there's also orange and black microphone covers over there next to each other, which makes it look like Halloween. We're a very confused office this morning.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Good morning, Lekter.
Hey.
How's it going?
Not bad. How you doing?
Yeah, not that bad. Lovely to see you in here. You can always tell when you have a new hat that you're particularly wedded to, because you wear it from the very first moment of the day. You came strolling in here, and it is a fetching hat. I will give you that. It is a black Cabin Radio hat. It looks fantastic. Hats are available, $35. Come on down. You have, however, almost ruined it already.
Almost, yep. To be more specific, my dog's almost ruined it.
How long have you had the hat?
Less than 24 hours.
Okay.
Yeah. I spent the better part of my walk here knocking dog fur off of it. Because, I forgot, I have a black hat in my life with 2 huskies, and that's just not always going to mesh so well, especially when you just absentmindedly leave it on the bed before you go to sleep.
I think you'd be amazed how well it does mesh with husky fur. That really much is it. Yeah, I swear sometimes huskies get up in the night and acquire sewing and knitting accoutrements, and then sort of just sit there, just gently stitching the fur into the clothing.
I wouldn't put it past Jaya, but Finnegan...
Well, I wouldn't give Finnegan any sharp objects. I think that would be rule number 1.
Absolutely true, yeah.
Speaking of things that have been around for about 24 hours and are already in some jeopardy, the Cabin Radio map... Which is beautiful, by the way. Beautiful, and arrived on our wall yesterday and has replaced a 7-foot tall cardboard cutout of AJ's close relative.
Yes.
For which we're all grateful, because...
Which is apparently in the garbage now.
Is it?
Yeah, he threw it out.
Oh, I thought he was going to put it in his roommate's bed.
I thought he was going to put it back in his bedroom. That's where it was previously. And it was a Christmas gift.
We all assumed that guy was destined for the bedroom because he was, as the Post-it note on it said, Yellowknife hot. However, no, apparently in the garbage. That seems a shame.
Hard nope.
Also, has anyone told Shannon? Because that should be in the recycling. It's cardboard.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe he did throw it in the recycling. Sorry, AJ. I don't want to throw you under the bus.
Ugh, Shannon already sharpening the pitchfork. Here is the map. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
AJ's already planning version 2. He's already, the days of this, it's like a British Prime Minister. It's just in office, and it's already announcing when it's going to leave again.
Just in office.
Yeah, just in. Okay, yeah. If I meant that would have been good. So we've got this beautiful map of the whole of the Canadian Arctic. Now, AJ has looked at this. He likes it, but he's now thinking, maybe we take this down, and we get someone in who's really good at art, and we get them to do the whole of that wall of the studio as an NWT-specific map.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's the noise that I made.
Ambitious, interesting. I like it.
Those are words that we like to live by here at Cabin Radio. Ambitious, interesting, and liked. So we're looking at having a new version of the map. Now, I'm biding my time here, because the moment we get a signed-off final version of the map, it's like map_final ...
Yeah.
Then the next day, map_final .
Revised.
Revised final 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, etc. The moment that we have map final, I want to start doing weather forecasts in front of it.
Okay.
It's absolutely my plan. I'm going to enlist the help of the dog, and we're going to strap weather symbols to the dog, and then just and have the dog hove into view above certain parts of the Northwest Territories.
Do like a storm cloud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just strap a little storm cloud symbol to Penny's face, and then just hover her into shot down in the day show or something. Take that CBC with your green screen.
And we have a green screen too.
We do have a green screen. The problem is the dog keeps nibbling it.
Ah, right.
So the green screen is in some respects, only some respects, in some respects, useless.
I guess we could give Penny a little credit in that she's probably not going to start nibbling paint off the wall. Probably. Yeah.
Maybe when she gets larger and realizes that she can do that damage, she'll just lose all her baby teeth right now. They're falling out. Those things are falling out like hail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, be careful. You might get rained on by her baby teeth.
Baby dog teeth are weird, too.
They are weird.
They're just little shards of what should be an actual tooth.
Yeah. They're essentially dog diamonds.
Yeah.
And you should really, why we go to all this expense of opening mines up here, I do not know, when we could just nip down the SPCA, polish up a few of those bad boys.
Galore.
Yeah. Exactly, right? Dog diamonds. There's a euphemism for so many different things.
And probably the name of the podcast.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
Sad news from Shay Shannon.
Yeah.
I shall, Shannon, I hope you don't mind, got to poach a little bit of this just for a little context for our listeners. Yeah. Shannon had a rough night. And I'm going to quote now. When you told your neighbor they've got cool tunes, but can they please turn it down? Quiet for a while. Now, double the volume and at least 2 more people. I feel like an elderly woman. Now, Shannon, don't worry. I think we've all been there. We've all been there, right? We've all
felt like elderly women?
Okay, it's not quite how I meant that.
Okay.
We have, however, all been in a situation where you have shot daggers through the wall at your neighbor.
Yes.
Despite feeling as though...
Despite cool tunes.
Because everybody likes cool tunes. It's just a question of when. And it's often the case, same in, this is always the case in moving vehicles with the window down. There is only one human being that thinks that song needs to be heard by everybody. Very, very rarely does anyone else you're passing by while playing the music respond in the same vein.
Turn it up, in fact!
I'm so glad you're playing that. No, drive alongside me. Yeah, that's it. That just crawl. I'm only walking, look, so you're going to have to go at 11 kilometers an hour, and even that's a little much. But just turn it up. Yeah, that's great. That's just
Tommy Two-Tone, crank that thing.
Yeah, things that do not happen. Volume 1, someone requests Tommy Two-Tone. Volume 2, people enjoy stuff coming out of cars. It's the same in houses, same in apartments. Totally understand. Everyone has always been so into the music that they're playing that they want to hear it really loud.
Yes.
Never, ever does that translate to anyone else in the apartment building feeling the same way.
Rarely, yeah.
Now, have you ever had concerns like this? Have you ever lived in a place where there's been not just a one-off, but that apartment building or that those guys, those neighbors?
I've lived in a few. Most recently, so the building we're currently in, lived in for a few years now, but just recently, I guess last fall, a couple moved in. In contrast to the previous couple who were just dreams for neighbors, the quietest couple you could possibly live beside.
It's always terrifying when they move out.
It is terrifying when they move out.
Because they were the best neighbors.
Yes.
And you watch them go, and you think, oh, what have we done? Could we not have done more? Why? Why hast thou forsaken us, nice neighbors?
Did we do enough to keep them around? No, we did not. So they moved out last fall, and a new young couple moved in. And for the most part, have been very good neighbors. And I won't name names, mostly because I don't know either of their names.
Good neighbor that you are. I won't name names because I have made no effort to get to know them. Understood?
I've chatted with one twice. The other have barely even seen to have a conversation.
Look at you, you social butterfly.
I'm always in those stairwells hanging out, waiting for a conversation. Just never happens.
A stairwell, Scott. You wonder why the last neighbors moved out.
What's with this guy in the stairwell? So, and there's been a couple instances, and it's not music. That would actually be, I feel slightly preferable. I don't know. You be the judge of this, because... Their noise is generated from fights.
Oh.
Disputes of a domestic variety. And
like, well, hang on. People are worried now. Like, what are we talking? Like,
well, I'm not talking like WWE. I don't hear any body slams happening ever.
Okay,
so I think we're okay there. I don't think it gets into illegal territory or anything like that.
Just like raised voice kind of stuff.
Just raised voices, very loud screamer fighters. And so there was one night, Nicole and I came home from a party, and we were coming up the stairs. And I said to Nicole, because I could hear them, but I couldn't quite, make out what was being said. And so I said to her, I was like, man, either our neighbors are just having like a raucous beer drinking party over there, or they're fighting. It's one of the two. Wasn't sure. So came up, took the dogs outside around the block, and brought them back upstairs, and it became very apparent that they were 100% fighting. This was not a fun celebratory party. It's just like, okay, that's that sucks. That nobody likes that. Nobody likes conflict. Well, I guess some people like conflict, but generally
people don't wish to live next to it.
Yeah, we try to avoid this in our. You
might go to watch WWE, but you don't particularly want it to be occurring next door.
No, those people are getting paid. These people are not getting paid. To fight. And so it was very apparent that they were fighting, but you could hear them throughout the entire stairwell. And I don't know if it's just like you get to a point where you're so angry at each other that you don't even care who hears. But I know I have never engaged in a fight like that. At least not that I'm aware of.
Me neither. Although now I kind of want to. There's a part of me that feels as though there must be, as I'm sure it's a miserable situation to get into. I'm sure, nobody wants to fight with anybody else. But if you're going to get to that point, there must be some kind of really nice primordial release in just letting rip down a stairwell. And so I go, well, you can keep your hockey books or whatever the issue may be.
I will keep my hockey books.
Just going for it, because if you're going to let it out, just go for it. Make a scene. Why not?
Yeah. I kind of started to get the sense that maybe it is almost a cathartic thing, and maybe this is just like a dynamic in their relationship. It's just a bit turbulent, When they fight, they fight. But then the next day, I just happened to be leaving and heard just like a little bit of chatter through their door, and it was just like the sweetest, like nice. Oh, hey, how's it going, dear? La 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 la.
Well, already that sounds like a draining relationship for one or both parties.
Oh, it sounds exhausting without question.
Meanwhile, in a house in Yellowknife right now, in the kitchen, hey, Michelle, is that the guy who lives next door? I think he's talking about us. No, he isn't, Terry. Yeah, he is, Michelle.
Yes, he is. Why don't you ever believe me?
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
We were discussing the phenomenon of the noisy neighbor and its two most common varieties, the musical noisy neighbor and the argumentative noisy neighbor. Well, guess what? Here's the combo deal. Let's hear about a musical, argumentative, noisy neighbor, because this is the best. My mother's been in touch. Now, couldn't persuade her to come on the air and tell this story, but I have permission to release a redacted version to you all. This began with a brief message after our last break in which she wrote, word for word, I threw my saxophone down the stairs in my worst argument ever. A saxophone!
And that just left us hanging. Like, we need to know more, Babs. Come on.
I mean, that is an instrument that, A, like, that's a fairly heavy instrument. Yeah. B, the potential for the noise of that thing, like, traveling.
You make your point felt when you throw a saxophone down the stairs.
Yeah. So here is the one paragraph version of the story. The person in question, she says, had said she would never go for a walk with me again. Okay. This is very my mother, this story. I love every word of it.
Okay.
This happened earlier that day. She said she'd never go for a walk with me again. So she and her partner, like, having a full-on, like, clearly, like, that. The never go for a walk again had clearly been, I would imagine, the sort of the peak of an argument about something else.
Yeah, I don't think you start off there.
Yeah,
that seems a bit rash.
Like this other person would clearly, even though my mother likes her walks, but I'll never go for a walk with you again. Hit you where it hurts. Okay. So then later, there was a hammering on my mother's door. She says, I was playing sax very loudly due to the argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, let it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah, take it out on the saxophone.
That's right.
I used to do that with a drum kit. I understand. So my mum came out, and this person was there, and she said, well, I was only wanting to ask if you wanted to go for a walk. Oh, my mother lost it. So I lost it for the only time in my life, she writes.
Is that true?
Unhooked sax and threw it. Luckily, she wasn't in the way, or would be dead now, smiley face.
I mean, maybe not dead. If it's a tuba or a harp you're throwing at
yeah. Oh, man, am I ever glad you did not play the harpsichord. Yeah. Saxophone gave everyone a fighting chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you don't have to renovate those stairs afterwards.
She continues. I mean, imagine being a triangle player. You just don't have the same. You don't have the same dramatic effect.
Not a lot of punch there as it ting-ting-a-lings down the stairs.
Get out of my life! Bing, 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 bing. I think you dropped this. My mum continues. Had it repaired, and it sounded much better.
Oh, really?
Repairman did not look as though he believed me when I said I had dropped it. She apparently the other party in this argument was at the bottom of the stairs, and I threw it straight down. So it's like a javelin.
Oh, so not even just like she. I got the impression like that person was at her door and she like threw it past them.
No.
Just in a fit of rage. But no,
this was Olympic saxophone.
This was a shot put. Wow, okay.
That is some story.
Some story, yeah.
Thank you, Barbara Williams, for contributing that to this morning's show.
Saxophone.
Here we were worried about a few raised voices and some angry words being exchanged over at your place.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there are brass musical instruments flying through the air in British suburban neighborhoods.
We stumble upon the unicorn of noisy neighbors, combining dispute with music. Beautiful.
Do watch out for brass instruments if you're ever around my house in the UK.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Is it Wednesday? It's Wednesday. It's amazing how as soon as you sit in this seat...
I was going to say, yeah.
Something
about that chair.
There's something about this chair that just like time stops and your concept of where you are in the week evaporates. Oh, Wheeler, all is forgiven. You just sit in here and you suddenly,
You understand now.
It ends in a Y. I remember that much. Welcome along, everybody. Mornings at the Cabin. Ollie and Lekter with you. That was Iggy Pop, the passenger. Before that, Beth Orton's Stolen Car. Lekter, I want to talk dump eagles.
All right, sure. Let's do it.
Now, depending on my accent, you may have overheard me say dumb beagles. It's not about stupid beagles. This is about dump space eagles.
And not the band either, so we won't start throwing out puns, unless you want me to.
Oh, Eagles puns. We've done Eagles puns.
Yeah.
You keep those Eagles puns.
We'll
I can see your beady eyes already looking for Eagles puns.
Just a glint of inspiration.
Yeah, don't you do it.
Oh, the possibilities.
The reason I bring this up is if you go check out our Instagram account, we've published a couple of photos there from local people who've taken them, and we've asked to republish them on our page because they're just so cool. They're these beautiful photos of eagles, and what I love about this is that you know your majestic eagle shot, right? Everybody can immediately picture a super majestic looking eagle.
Yes.
Sitting there, white crest and head and everything, staring off into the blue yonder, just looking like the best bird.
Yeah.
Right? There's like, of all the birds, the best. Clearly the best, simply the best. Tina Turner in the background, eagle. But you look behind it, and there's the dump.
Yeah.
Because this poor eagle, on hard times, is kicking around the dump. And it's the same with bears, I know that. But I knew about dump bears. Dump bears were a thing. I knew about that ages ago. When I lived in Fort Liard, there were always bears hanging around the dump.
Okay.
That is kind of sad, but it was a thing. All right, fine.
Well.
I didn't know about dump eagles. There's something about dump bears. I kind of feel like we're like off to the dump. That's kind of their thing.
Right.
Right. They just bumble around a little bit. If it's a dump, so be it. I'm a bear. I just want to eat stuff. Fine. Eagles, though. Oh, that's not right.
Well, I don't quite know why you're so shocked or like put out by it. I mean, they have an easier time getting to a dump than any bear.
No, I get it. It's like Eagle Walmart. It's like it's there. You might as well use it.
Well,
add them to the list of people who are never sponsoring the morning show. But like, I get that. Like, it's easy shopping for eagles.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that. Who are we as the human race with our fast food joints and our general approach to existence to go judge eagles who decide to nip down the dump to feed the kids of an evening.
Right.
Yeah, I get home and throw a pizza, ready-made pizza in the oven for 20 minutes just to feed myself. Who am I to go accuse an eagle of somehow skimping on life? But it just, I don't know.
It just made you sad.
Yeah, it just takes the shine off things a little bit to see like the eagles. There's one of the photos is truly, it's like a silhouetted eagle, and it's that full like, you know how you can instantly picture like your grand eagle. You can instantly picture the silhouette as well, right? The beak and everything. And then the silhouette, the dump in the background behind it. It's like, he's
happy.
Is he, though?
I think so. I have to imagine. If an eagle's not happy where he is, the beauty is he can just fly away.
So, in one of the most almighty segues of all time on the morning show, the reason we bring this up is we're going to run a new contest. And the contest is entitled, Who Wants to Be Slightly Healthier Than They Are Now?
Oh, this is going to be so much fun.
This is going to be marvelous. It doesn't involve eagles, but that was just by way of introducing you to this theme. The contest is going to involve a range of charities playing off live on Cabin Radio across the space of a week later on at the end of this month. In order to, they'll win a bunch of money, courtesy of ourselves and our sponsor. All should be revealed as soon as we signed our contract. I can't say any more for now. But the deal is going to be, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, except Who Wants to Be Slightly Healthier Than They Are Now. And there's going to be health-related questions in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire fashion. So super easy ones, like, to start, like, I don't know, like, what color is this carrot? Yeah, like, orange, very good, you get $100. Yeah, you know how, like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire always had questions like, Are you alive?
Right.
Yeah, like, I think I'll find a friend on that one.
Yeah, the first round was, there was a lot of eye rolling generally.
Yeah, it's like, all right, up to about, like, I've only ever seen the British version, but I imagine it to be very similar to the North American version.
Well, we just rip off everything.
Up to, like, $1,000. There's very little danger of getting something wrong. Like, maybe once a season, some poor wretch would, like, inadvertently answer something like, what color traditionally is the sky? Yellow, definitely yellow. And you'd be like, all right, well, we'll wheel this guy out. Yeah, and like we'll get on with the rest of the show. Yeah. But up to $1,000, you were usually safe. There'd be a few poor souls who would get a particularly, like, one on something they just had no clue about for like 2,000 or 4,000.
Right.
You'd be like, oh, okay, fine. But it was usually around about like the 4,000, 8,000 mark that you'd start to get questions that were a little bit more like, oh, okay, that could catch someone out.
Are we going to incorporate lifelines?
Well, I was going to suggest that we incorporate one lifeline, which is Facebook message somebody and hope they see it within 30 seconds.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Within 30, I mean, we got to keep this tight. It's got to be 30
and again,
seconds.
You can keep, because we're on live radio, so we don't have the advantages of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, where you get to, like, produce the heck out of it and edit it down afterwards.
We just have 3 cups of coffee in between phone calls that are going to voicemail. Yeah.
So it's going to have to be, Facebook message somebody and hope they see it within 30 seconds. Okay. Now, you could do what they do, which is to jack people up beforehand and say, right, hey, I might need to Facebook message you. You can have, the entire medical staff of Stanton, like, watching their pages to see if the message comes in. But if you don't get an answer in 30 seconds, on with the show.
We don't want to give them a call, do the phone thing.
But I don't want to go to. I don't want exactly what you've just mentioned, which is the whole like, hi, you've reached Dr. Courtney Howard. Like, all right, I will leave a message. Yeah, like I just feel like this could get smidge tedious on live radio. All so we're going to keep it nice and punchy.
Okay.
And there's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire rules. So the moment you get a question wrong, that's the end of that. And we'll see who gets the furthest. And at the end of the week, whoever gets the furthest gets the cash for their charity. And it's all in aid of promoting a brand new app, which you're going to find out more about at the end of the month.
All right.
So stay tuned for that. Maybe there'll even be some audience participation. It's going to be a fun little week. It's entitled Who Wants to Be Slightly Healthier Than They Are Now? And it's got nothing to do with eagles.
Except it may leave you with a peaceful, easy feeling.
Mornings at the Cabin. What did I tell you?
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca.